We're here at Elmer's, upper Center River, New Jersey. In recent decades, USR has become more industrialized. We've seen such in the transformation of Medway Farms over there into the residential housing it is today, as well as in the coming and going of Pearson education. Elmer's Country Store is one of the only places that has retained USR's bucolic feel over the past decades. Let's explore more.
So Elmer started off as the barns of the Hopper Farms. The barns had a lot of different owners over like the last century that's been here. So one man first bought it, John Taylor, he first bought it in 1907, and he converted them to stables. And he kept his horses here, which he raced in Hohokus. So these barns were then taken after like the Great Depression, and he didn't have enough money, so they were sold to a couple other people before it finally reached Elmer Herring, and Elmer named it after himself. And so basically it became this store. Elmer's has kept its name and rustic appearance throughout many decades. The reason for this is that Upper Saddle River wants to remember its rural past despite it being a suburban town. It currently serves as a safe haven from industrialization.
Elmer's has gone from a farm to stables to one pump gas station to convenience store. However, it has always fit in with the town feel.
The people of USR deliberately chose to remember the rural feel and resist the industrial changes.
Okay, Jeremy, how did you feel when you went to the old Elmer's?
When I went to the old Elmer's, I was pretty repulsed by it, but at the same time, there was some charm to it, I thought, that was underneath all the dirt and grime.
Okay. When I went to Elmer's, the old Elmer's, I don't really remember it quite well, but I remember not liking it and never going there again. And how did you feel about the new Elmer's?
So at first I was pretty opposed to it because I thought it was literally just like a 7-Eleven, like with like, I thought it was gonna be like all neon and like up all night, like open all night. But upon like closer inspection and particularly during this project, I realized and I appreciated how much effort was put into keep it the same and try to integrate it into our town without it being very foreign and obtrusive.
Years ago, they still come here, and then after they come here, they said, "Oh, we used to hang out here. We love this place." And kids love it. They do so many projects. They give me some, in the class that we love Elmer's and all that. So, and Elmer's also participate in the, like baseballs or basketball teams. We sponsor them. So, we do all the fundraising and sponsoring, like the car show, and the historical department. They do everybody who comes here because they just think that this is part of their life, Elmer's. So we participated. So they like it. Every morning even though kids have school like a cafeteria and then they get some lunches from elsewhere, they don't eat that. They just throw that away and parents come here and pick up the breakfast and lunches every day. So it is important for people. People love it. They come and they do conference meetings and calls, all that kind of stuff.
Elmer's has a nice mix of old and new in the store now, and the Quality of Life Committee report states that the interior of the newly renovated Elmer's includes a deli and a seating area that incorporates historic items, as well as a beam from the old barn that previously housed Elmer's. I thought all of these touches really helped to bring it all together and showed how in USR, although we're modern and we have advanced as a town, we still appreciate and look to our farming past.
Now, seeing like the very modern Elmers, how do you think it fits into USR's more of a rural setting, and how do you think it influences the town dynamic?
I think it's perfect. It's like a mom and pop's shop compared to a commercial business. It's more of a comfortable feeling, and it's familiar people here.
So, what do you think Elmer historically means to USR?
So I feel like USR is always been like an agricultural, like a rural type of town, and I feel like Elmer still gives it that kind of feel, even though it's changed a lot from the past. I feel like the fact that Elmer's is there, it still gives that like agricultural feel to the people who live in the area.
Why do you think there are artifacts in Elmer's, like on the walls?
Well, I think it gives people like a little taste of the old Elmers without like the filth and like all the reasons why they had to tear it down, which was probably because of how unclean it was and how old it was probably at that point. So it kind of gives, I guess, people in Upper Saddle River like still that kind of feeling, even though the store is like modern now.
How often do you guys come to Elmer's?
Like weekly, like once or twice a week.
Once a week, usually.
Yeah.
Why do you guys come here so often with your friends?
It's just like a common place for everyone to go after school, and a lot of people come.
Yeah.
We were able to contact Mayor Minichetti, the mayor of Upper Saddle River. She gave her input on Elmer's.
What do you think Elmer's means to the town historically? Elmer's has a plaque placed by the USR Historic Commission in honor of its barn and original building. The barn was in very bad shape and was removed. It was offered to the museum, but was refused due to its condition. The building burned down in the 1950s, so it was newer. Once that was removed, we have a very new building that looks original. Many artifacts were saved and are used as decor.
Our survey results show that 80% of people almost never go to Elmer's. However, 90% of people do not want to turn Elmer's into a house, and 80% of people do not want to replace Elmer's with Dunkin' Donuts. When questioned if they would want a Dunkin' Donuts to replace Elmer's, most of our survey participants said no.
It would erase a part of our town's history and a nearby hangout/gas station, said one participant. Another added that the store has a place in the heart of all the citizens of USR.
One other participant felt that a Dunkin' Donuts would be too commercial and not offer a big enough variety of products.
This shows that Elmer's really does best serve the town's interests.
It is not only the best type of business for USR, but also it upholds the bucolic atmosphere so evidently part of the town's past.
Would you rather have a Dunkin' Donuts here or Elmer's? Because they were considering putting a Dunkin' in when they remodeled it.
Well, Dunkin' Donuts would be a lot different, I feel like.
Right, but how do you think that would fit into the town?
The town being,
I feel Elmer's is probably a better fit in the town than Dunkin' Donuts.
And with the town being historically more a strawberry farming town,
Yeah.
kind of like a bucolic looking,
I guess like a Dunkin' Donuts would be weird.
Yeah. When the original Hopper barns, known to the town as Elmer's Country Store for several decades now, were condemned and knocked down in 2009, they were replaced with a new building that retained the appearance of a rustic barn. The town maintained the store's name and appearance rather than replace the store and gas station with the Dunkin' Donuts, which served to preserve this town landmark despite the destruction of its original parts. Inside Elmer's, the modernized store is reflective of USR's modernization, making it an updated version of the community gathering place it was all those years before.
But if USR simply wanted a place to meet and gather, why not just make it a Dunkin' Donuts or another Starbucks? Why did almost all of our survey participants and interviewees oppose replacing Elmer's with one of these chains? After discussion with the residents and our peers, we realized that Elmer's represents the town's roots as a farm town. And although USR has changed drastically since then, it wouldn't be what it is today without these roots. The story of Elmer's may be that it went from a barn to stables to one-pump gas station to a convenience store, but its history is found in the progression of the town as a whole.